Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Joseph Daniel Adrian, Paul Tejada Amrabola, Gerald Thomas Atkinson, Kenneth Joe Austin, Bernd Bachlada, Raymond John Baker, Charles Wesley Barrett, James William Bettis, Anthony Martin M. Blass, Kenneth A. Bodell, Lawrence Anthony Brandigan, Fred J. Bridges Jr., Thomas Bright Jr., Richard Peter Bruce, Stephen Frank Burlingame, Lester Vincent Safiro Jr., Andrew Thomas Castelda, Harlan Jean Clausen Jr., Leonard Coleman, Clifford Markwood Cork, Harlan Murdine Kraft, Jackie Lawrence Crosby, Charles Henry Cummings, Leonard Dwight Cunningham, Stephen Ray Cunningham, Jerry Lee Dene, J. Thomas Danderand, Aaron Lee Darr, Dudley Davis, Louis R. G. Dorsey, Nils Arden Drennan, Richard Lance Dunlap, Richard Henry Durant, Leon George Edwards, Lawrence Robert Esser, Albert James Farrell Jr., Thomas Ryan Fleming, Ronald Lynn France, James Anthony Franklin, Jerry Wayne Fraz, Louis Wayne Frericks, Jose Oscar Garcia, Boyd Grayson Garner, James Albert Gaz, James Carroll Gilbert, Joseph James Gomez, Edwin Riley Goodrich Jr., Charles Wayne Graham, Jerry L. Green, John Gary Griffith, Terry Elmer Gunther, Thomas Ewald Hacker, Jewel Thomas Hagman, Walter James Hampton, Edward John Hagen, George Franklin Hayes, Melvin Hazley, Daniel Neal Heater, Garland Jarris Henderson Jr., Michael Wayne Hill, William L. Holland Jr., Edward Wayne Holmes, Lamar Horn, Alan Roger Hosdell,
Lewis Howard Huff II, Warner Prater Huey, Richard Hutchinson Jr., Paul Edward Irvin, Frank Jacaruso, Paul Howard Jackson Jr., Clive Garth Jeffs, Franklin A. Johnson, Robert Edward Johnson, Ronald Lee Johnston, William Arthur Jones, Van John Joyce, Stephen Edward Karobczyk, Joseph M. Knobloch Jr., Glenn Edward Coleman, Jerry Dean Cooney, William Truman LaField Jr., Franklin Monroe Lanier, Rodney John Lawson, James Riley Ledbetter, Willie B. Lee, Olin Jens Leonard, William Edward Lilienthal, Lamar Arthur Major, Elmo Marinelli, John Lee Maddock, William T. McCormick, Randall Lee McElrath, Patrick M. McInerney, Gary Douglas McNicol, Jeffrey Evans Meade, Jack William Messer, Harold Metcalf, Daniel Victor Michael, Felton Lee Mims, Filberto Guerre Miranda, Nazir Mohammed, Jose Sanchez Montemayor, Fred Allen Moody, Gary Leslie Moore, William Curtis Morehouse, Terry Lee Moser, Robert Wayne Odell, Jimmy O'Donnell, Samuel Taylor Owen, John Patrick Papin, Delmasio P. Pascua Jr., Paul Joseph Peoples, Gary William Perkins, James Paul Perrone Jr., Robert Colquitt Plemons, Benito Andrade Ponce, Thomas Charles Prang, John Arthur Ramirez, David Jeffrey Rankin, Michael Richard Reber, Charles J. Rivas, Danny David Rhodes, Fred Earl Richards, Lamond Richardson, Gordon Ray Reitler, Floyd Henry Robinson, Donald Robert Robeson, Edward Francis Rogers,
Victor Joseph Ruggiero Jr., Franklin James Runge, Norman Sheldon Salomon, Henry Clyde Sanders, Charles Dwayne Saylor, Roosevelt Scott, Gary Bernard Skull, Robert Eugene Schaffer, Gerald Delmar Shaner, Ronnie Dean Shattuck, Sigmund Michael Sikorsky, Benjamin Eugene Slagowski, Earl Spencer Snyder, Estill Denny Spakes, Robert Everett Spires, Douglas Wayne Stegall, Richard John Stewart, Harold Edwin Stalt, Mitchell William Stout, John Richard Strohmeyer, Raymond Wilson Teal, Gerald Leroy Tharp, Tyrone Gary Thoman, Vinnie Ewell Thompson, Richard Lewis Thompson Jr., Robert Walter Thorne, Carlos V. Trevino, Tommy Lee Trimble, Charles Joseph Toury, Francisco Luis Valle, Robert Lester Van Giesen, Kyle Waldrop, Ralph Levon Washington, Kenneth Maurice Watkins, David Russell Welch, Gerald Welsh, William Timothy Wheeler, Gordon Glenn White, Jerry Owen Young, Thomas Allen Zimmerman,